Hi everyone, and welcome back to Liz Sews and my November makes video. Now, November has been a really rough month for me. On the 16th, we made the very difficult decision to say goodbye to the best sewing assistant a girl could ever ask for. Uzi was diagnosed back in August with stage 3 kidney disease, and we thought we had a few more months left with him, but unfortunately it became increasingly clear that his quality of life was diminishing much faster than it should be. It was selfish of us to keep him alive any longer, knowing that his pain was going to get increasingly worse. So as I had said, this happened on November 16th. Luckily, I had already completed all of my November projects ahead of that time, and so I was able to take, a week or two off of sewing to just sort of relax and sit with those feelings. Obviously, still, it's really fresh on my mind and hard to talk about, but just know that in the next month, as project log videos are coming up, you may see his face pop up now and again, but these were all things that were filmed prior to the 16th. So all that sad stuff out of the way, let's start looking at my November makes. So November was a month of inspired by projects. I really enjoy doing these inspired by months because a lot of times I feel like I get stuck in a rut, and it allows me to try new techniques and new fabrics and new color combinations that I might not necessarily have thought of on my own. So I think these are something that's going to be a main staple of my channel moving forward. I want to try to at least do one inspired by make every month because there are just so many lovely, talented, and wonderful sewers out there, and I'd love to be able to highlight more of them as the time goes by. So starting out, let's look at Katie Makes a Dress. So first up, let's look at Katie Makes a Dress. I had two bras that I had saved from her feed that I wanted to recreate, and the first one is a straight up Marlboro bra. So this bra, as I said, is the Marlboro bra pattern. There's no alterations to it whatsoever. The lace I purchased from Beware, and I knew as soon as I saw Katie's version where I could get this lace. So I was super happy that Beware still had it in stock. I've used this lace in the past in a different colorway, but I think the mint colorway is really, really soft and pretty. Originally, I was going to use some self-dyed findings with this bra, but I ended up using them in the other bra from Katie Makes a Dress. And so what I've gone with here is Peaches findings from Bra Builder. So this is one of the colors that they used to have in their old legacy line. So I think the peaches looks absolutely perfect with this mint green. This is a color combination that I certainly wouldn't have thought of, but I absolutely adore it. For me, this is much more of a spring colored bra, but I think that's perfectly fine. I tend to wear my bras all year round, so it doesn't really matter to me that it doesn't match, like the specific seasonal time period. So yeah, the thing that I was most inspired by this is really just the color combination, and I hope that I did it justice. The next bra that I wanted to recreate from Katie Makes a Dress is this really lovely set. Now this set again uses a Marlboro bra pattern. I'm pretty sure this is one of her favorite patterns, or at least it's up there. Luckily, I have worked on my Marlboro pattern rather recently in the past couple months, getting the fit dialed in, and so I was really comfortable going ahead and making all of these bras with the Marlboro pattern without making any adjustments. So I looked around for a really long time to find the lace that she had used. I asked her in one of the forums where it came from, and I think she said she just got it off of eBay. So I did not have any luck finding the exact same lace. So I went shopping on AliExpress instead, and I found something that I thought gave me the same sort of vibes, but would go well with the satin. The satin came from Spandex World, and this is their coral satin. Spandex World is my favorite place to buy this sort of like stretch mirror satin. It is not like satin that you would buy in your Joann's or something like that, because it is a knit fabric. It is super stretchy. It has a lot of elastane in it. Because it's a knit fabric, it works particularly well in lingerie. I really like using it because it allows me to use it both in the main bra itself and the underwear, so you get a really matchy-matchy set. So let's take a look at my version of this bra. So I used the Marlboro bra pattern just as she has done. The lace that I purchased, unfortunately, did not have a mirror image. So it was just, all the flowers were going in one direction. So I tried really hard to sort of get that flower blob in the same place along both of the upper edges of the bra. Even though it's not mirrored, I think it still gives that symmetry that I was going for. In Katie's original bra, I think her entire bridge is covered in lace, and I went back and forth and looked at it, but in order to get the entire bridge cut in lace, this flower motif was almost completely cut off, and I felt like that was really not utilizing the fabrics to its best intent, because I was not using the same lace that she was. So I chose to end my lace right down here, just so I got the main bulk of that flower coming across the bridge. Ideally, I like to use lace that kind of like continues across the bridge in a straight line, but I thought that that would just leave not very much detail in the center front here, and so that's why I just chose to drop it down a little bit further. So the mirror satin in this looks absolutely stunning. It looks like liquid on the body. Seeing it here on a flat lay, it kind of looks really wrinkly and stuff like that. But once you have your bust in there and it's under tension, everything lays really smooth, and it's just a gorgeous effect. So this is the bra that I ended up using my self-dyed findings in. This is a combination of peach blush with a little bit of honey mustard added to it. Both of these dyes came from the Dharma Trading Company and as part of their acid dye line. So I had originally thought I was going to use it with the mint bra, but I thought it looked a little bit better with this corally satin. Now, because this is because this is a stretch satin, I was able to use it on the back band as well. So I've lined the back band in my power net, which I always do all the time just for strength and stability and having good recovery. But because the satin stretches just as much as the power net, I was able to use it on the back band as well. So you really end up getting something that looks very cohesive, having that satin continue all the way around the bra. So that's one reason why I really love using some stretch fabrics in bras, because it gives you a much more cohesive look than having a different fabric in the back. For the inside of the bra, I've lined the lower and side cups with non-stretch sheer cup lining, and that way I have the stability that I need. And I cut the exterior satin fabric a little bit smaller than my lining, that way it stretches over it instead of bagging out. For the upper cup, I've lined it with sheer cup lining as well. Actually, no, for upper cup, I lined it in Bra Tulle. This is Bra Tulle in the shade Honey that I had purchased from Bra Builders. This one's really close to my skin tone because I didn't want something that was going to interrupt the look of the lace from the outside of the bra. I wanted it to look like that lace was just floating on top of there, and then maybe like those flowers are just growing out of nothing. So I think the effect is really good, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. So in addition to the bra, of course, this one was an inspired by set. So I made some underwear as well. Now on the underwear, I sort of deviated from Katie's version just because I wanted something that I knew that I was going to wear. So of course I went back to my self-drafted pair of bikini style underwear. These are sort of like mid to almost natural waist on me, which is my preference. I think it's a lot more comfortable as I wear high-waisted denim, as well as the sort of like 50 style dresses where the natural waist is where it cinches in. This one was really, really easy. I took my block and then I cut out this little triangle portion from my block. I added seam allowances to the triangle and seam allowances to the satin, and then I was able to just do this little inset panel with a single flower in there, and I think the end result is absolutely stunning. I did take some photos of this on my mannequin. It's a little hard to tell because the mannequin has a bunch of writing on its tummy, so I like shoved in some more opaque flesh colored fabric behind it. But when you wear this, this little sheer panel is such a delight. Now, as I had mentioned, this is non-stretch fabric, but seeing as that it's such a small portion of the underwear, I didn't really worry about adjusting any of my stretch percentage on my block. I figured that this little bit wasn't going to make that big of a difference, and then everywhere else is obviously that stretch satin covered in fold over elastic. So the stretch satin has a bunch of stretch in one direction and hardly any stretch in the other direction. So when I'm making these, I wanted to make sure the stretch was running side to side, that way I got something that was a lot more comfortable. when wearing. And just thrilled with how this turned out. I love this little inset panel, and I'm definitely going to be using it in panties in the future because I think it gives just the right amount of elegance to the set, and just perfect. So this is one that I was really excited about making. I know that a lot of you had said in my plans video that was what you were most excited about, and I hope I've done it justice. And yeah, so that is another Marlboro bra and self-drafted panty that was inspired by Katie Makes a Dress. The next bra set I have to share with you was inspired by this gray and chartreuse set that was sewn by Muriel. I went back and forth on which pattern I was going to use with this, and I know that in my plans video I said I was probably going to use Marlboro because I knew that one fits me a little bit better, but I decided when the time came to it that I was going to use the Harriet instead and really be true to the inspiration. So for this bra, I've used micro duoplex that I've dyed myself using silver gray acid dye from Dharma Trading Company. Micro duoplex is pretty tricky to sew with, and I realized that I didn't have any dark gray thread. I use a much higher quality thread whenever I'm sewing with micro duoplex because it makes it a lot easier to work with, but I didn't have any matching thread for this, so I actually went ahead and used a contrast thread instead. It's okay. I kind of wish that I had waited and gone back and gotten a charcoal gray thread instead, but it's okay. It's okay. I mean, at least the stitches look pretty enough with this higher quality thread that I don't have to worry about it. Like I said, I used the Harriet pattern for this, and it actually fits me quite well. I was surprised. I haven't used the Harriet in quite some time, and so I didn't quite remember how it fit, but this one works really, really well. I've actually worn this a day already and washed it, which is why the fabric looks a little crinkly and sort of sad because it has been, I always wash my bras in the washing machine and then I just hang them up to dry so they get a little crinkly, but whenever I put them on, they always sort of like stretch back out to the way they were before. The lace for this one came from AliExpress seller, and I will link them down in the description box below, and I think it was the perfect complement to this gray. And of course all the findings as well, I've dyed myself with the silver gray acid dye. As well as the back of the bra itself. So looking at the interior of it, the micro duoplex, let's see, it looks like I lined this center front cup piece, the lower center front cup piece, and that allowed me to do stitch and flip so I didn't have any exposed seam allowances right here. I left the outer cut piece unlined. Micro duoplex is a really strong, sturdy fabric, so especially for my cuff size, I find that I don't need to line it at all. I only ever line it if I'm wanting to sort of clean up the insides. The top cup as well, I've lined with that sheer cup lining in gray. In retrospect, I probably should have chose something a little bit different because I feel like it mutes the green a little bit from the front of the bra, but it's not too bad. And yeah, so there's not much else to say about this. This is just the Harriet bra pattern that I had modified to fit me. So I have made quite a few changes to this pattern just for fit reasons, not necessarily stylistic changes. So in addition to the bra, I went ahead and made a pair of underwear to go with it as well. I think in her original set, she uses the Claudia pattern from Ululu. I'm going to have to go ahead and pick that up. I don't have a lot of luck with commercial panty patterns because I think that my crotch length is quite unusual, but I have a couple of bottoms patterns from Ululu and they fit me really well, so I'm thinking that she drafts for herself and she also has a really long crotch depth length, so I might go ahead and pick up the Claudia pants because I think that it would be nice to have in my collection of patterns because the way it uses like the lace that stretches around. So but for this one, I've just gone ahead and again used my block pattern, cut it down to a hipster style, and then I eliminated the side seam and let this be one continuous piece of lace that goes from the back and then wraps around to the front. I will go into this in a lot more detail in my project log video that's coming out in December. So the center front panel and the center back panel are using micro lycra that I purchased from Bra Builders. And again, this is something that I purchased in white and then I dyed. Unfortunately, I got a little bit of a mottled effect on the dye here. The first time around, I dyed this once and I had a really nice even color. I used some ammonium sulfate to get a slower catch of the dye into the fabric. So that was ammonium sulfate was the first time I'd used it, and I got a really nice even color, but it wasn't dark enough. So I went back and dyed it a second time, and when I dyed it the second time with another 1% of dye, I got the more mottled appearance. So of course, when I was in the middle of dyeing this, we had a pipe burst on our house, and because the temperature had dropped way below freezing for several days, and we hadn't blown out our sprinklers yet. So I had let this sit on the stove while I was tending to the fact that we had, you know, a fountain of water spraying out of the side of our house. And so I wasn't paying enough attention, and that is why the dye job on this is not perfect. But I do like this set. I actually really, really like the combination of the green and the gray, and I think having this like lace that wraps around is a really cool design detail, and it's something again that I want to use in my future patterns. I get really stuck in making the same bikini bottoms, and I think that I need to branch out a little bit more and add some details like this and that inset panel that really gives some more interest to my bottoms. So that is the green and gray set. So the next bra that I was inspired by was this quilted number made by Ying of the Tailor Made Shop. She made this bra as part of Bragust, and I had saved it immediately and knew that I definitely wanted to recreate it. Now, spoiler alert, I am in love with this quilting technique, and I've actually made 3 or 4 bras using it so far, and so it's definitely something that I'm going to use in the future. I really like how it adds dimension and detail to what otherwise would have been just a really plain fabric. And just like most of these bras that I made this month, there will be project log videos coming out in the month of December, sort of stepping you through the process of how I've made them. So let's take a closer look at my version of the quilted bra. So for my version, I've gone ahead and used this aubergine lingerie satin. It is so luxurious. It just looks regal and the perfect color purple. As soon as I saw it, I had to buy it, and I'm glad I did because I think she sold out within a matter of a few days. She has a lot of other lingerie satins still available on her site, so I will link it down in the description box below. Just know that this particular purple is no longer available. I did do a poll on my last month's plan video about which lace to use, and it was really close up until the end. I think that the black won out by like 1 or 2 votes, so that's the one I went ahead with. And obviously, seeing this down on here, it looks like the backing to this, which is a pecan sheer cup lining, is really visible. But the reason that I chose to do that was that I really wanted something that made the lace look like it was floating on top of the skin. So you can see if I put my hand, it's kind of hard to see because of the shape, but if I put my hand behind it, it just looks like a continuation of skin behind there, and so you don't really see that sheer cup lining at all once it's worn on the body. That's something that I think a lot of people forget about when it comes to lining lace, is how does it look on the body. So they might line it, I think most people would go ahead and line this with black, but then you won't see any of the detail of the lace. And I really like lining it something like this in something that matches your skin tone, because it allows you to see all the detail of the lace, still have the strength and structure and stability, and it looks very delicate and ethereal. So the lower cup on here has been quilted. Obviously, this is the first time I've quilted a bra, and I made a little bit of mistake. I don't think it's too noticeable, but you can see that on this side, the diamonds are a little bit wider side to side, and on this one, the diamonds are a little bit wider top to bottom. So that's like just a little quirk on there. I don't think it's too noticeable, but it is something that I saw once I finished the bra, and I'm like, well, shoot, I wish I had paid a little bit more attention to that. So on the interior of the bra, I went with all black findings just because I couldn't find a purple that matched particularly well. And I think the black and the purple look really good together anyway. I didn't bother lining the side cradles of this because that lingerie satin is really firm and supportive. I would say it's similar to Duoplex in its supportiveness, but way easier to sew with. I don't have nearly the amount of problems with threads and needles with this lingerie satin as I do with some of the other Duoplex and Micro Duoplex fabrics. So the lower cup is quilted with a layer of cut and sew foam, and then I have lined the back of it in sheer cup lining as well, just so that any of those threads are not being like as rough and against my skin. And of course, as I mentioned, the upper cup is lined with sheer cup lining and something that tries to match my skin tone as well. as soon as I finished it, I knew I wanted to make some more, and I actually have I decided to go ahead and do the white version as well after having finished this purple one, because I needed both of them. Like, I could not have enough quilted bras in my life. So here we have the white version of the quilted bra. This is much closer to Ying's original bra. I used the triangle lace and her white lingerie satin that she sold in the TaylorMade shop. Unfortunately, I think this lace has already been sold out, so it's not available anymore, but the white lingerie satin is still available. So I tried to stay as true as possible to her inspiration when making this bra. Like I said, using the same satin and the lace. When it came to doing the outsides of it, I think hers was just lace and sheer cup lining, but being that it's winter time and I'm cold all the time, I wanted something that had a little bit more heft and gravitas to it. So I went ahead and used the satin along the side cradle and bridge as well. And then I overlaid the lace on top of the satin just for the bridge. So in her design, she uses these triangle sliders. I believe she purchased hers from, or she got them from Small Bobbins, which is a UK company. Unfortunately, right now, shipping from the UK is extremely long and extremely expensive because of the pandemic. So I didn't want to order from there. So I ended up buying something that I thought looked similar from an Etsy seller, and unfortunately the Etsy seller ended up being in Turkey as well, but for some reason the shipping was a lot more economical, and so I was willing to pay that versus paying something like $20 to ship a couple of sliders from Small Bobbins. So I think these were originally designed for jewelry making or something like that, and I think I got like 20 of them, but I went ahead and put them on the strap itself, just like Ying had it. Ying also had done a design with sliders on here. I tried it and I went back and forth on it. I decided not to use that slider detail. I just don't particularly love the look of it on a strap, and I think it makes it much more difficult to adjust your strap as you go along. So I've put the triangle sliders on the straps here, and I also used it as my little decoration in the center front because I just thought it was really pretty. One thing that I really liked about being able to purchase these is that I got them in rose gold, whereas the Small Bobbin ones I think only come in like a yellow gold color, and my preference is always rose gold. So I ended up buying them in both rose gold and silver because I figured those are the ones that I would use the most frequently. They had them available in a wide range of sizes. I picked 15 millimeters because I wanted to make sure that my 1/2 inch strap, which I used all the time, is 12 millimeters wide. So I wanted to make sure there was a decent enough amount of space for this to go over the strap. So I got the 15 millimeter version. So I think the silver ones are a little bit more delicate on these. I don't know that I would trust it to actually be a slider or to have tension on it, but as a decorative piece, I think it's fine. So those are the triangle sliders that I used on here. So just like the purple bra, I didn't make much change for this versus the purple bra. I just was trying to pay a little bit more attention to the direction of my quilting. Again, on the inside, it's all white. For this one, I used white cut and sew foam, so that I got a nice clean look on the inside as well. So really enjoying these bras. I think that they remind me of like Joan of Arc armor when I put them on. There's something about the quilting that is just really, really interesting and fun and unique. So for my TaylorMade collaboratory project for this month, I had gone ahead and gotten the white lingerie satin and the triangle lace that you just saw in the quilted bra. So I wanted to make sure to make something else that was going to be unique and something that could showcase off these fabrics in a different way than Ying had already done. So I also went ahead and used those fabrics to make what I'm calling my swoop bra. So this is based off of the swoop bra that I made for the Walk in the Woods kit several months ago. This is one of the bras where I'm going to have 2 videos for it in December. You're going to have a project log about construction as well as a tutorial video about drafting that external power bar piece. So let's take a look at this bra in a little bit more detail. So for this bra, I've used that white lingerie satin all around the frame and the bridge as well as this external power bar. And then the interior cup is using just the lace itself, both in the upper and lower cup. So I started out with the Black Beauty bra pattern. The inner cups, so the ones that are the inside, are the Black Beauty upper and lower cup. And then I just drafted a new external power bar for the outside of this bra. I've gone ahead and used 3/4 of an inch strapping elastic with this because I sort of liked how beefy and strong this power bar was coming up, and I thought continuing on to the wider strap looked really nice as well. It gives that sort of like overall appearance of like this hug on the outer side of the bust and then like the ethereal inside, which is really what I was going for, is that sort of combination of hard and soft, you know, curved lines with triangles and stuff like that. I really wanted that dichotomy to show in this bra. So that is the outside, and then of course you got all white on that. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep these white. White things don't tend to stay white very long in my laundry, but for now, it looks nice and pristine and pretty. So the inside of the bra, I've lined the lower cup in sheer cup lining, and I didn't line the top, and I don't know if that's a mistake. We'll have to find out after I wear it a couple of times. The reason I didn't line it is because I wanted it to look really sheer. And so I found that when I put the white lining behind it, it was too opaque for my taste. So that's why I left it out. Obviously, I have a pretty small bust, so I'm not really looking for a whole lot of support up there. And so I can get away with something like that, where if you're a larger bust, I wouldn't recommend it. So the inside is all white. Of course, we have power net, sheer cup lining, lining the sides and the bridge, and then just white with rose gold findings. So I really enjoyed making this bra. Unfortunately, I do think I like the quilted bra better than this one, but I'm glad I did both of them, so I have that option. So the last 3 bras that I have to share with you were all inspired by Emerald Erin. She is just such a treasure trove of ideas, and I absolutely love her bra week challenge. I certainly don't have any problem making a bra every single week or multiple bras a week, but I love watching hers because she always comes up with such neat new ideas that I'm really inspired to try something different and sort of move out of my comfort zone. So let's take a look at the bras that are inspired by Emerald Erin. First up we have is the Lily of the Valley bra, which she posted several years ago, but I've always really adored it. So for my version, I went with a light blush pink. I don't love my version as much as I love Emerald Erin's, so I did some digging and I went and found the exact lace that she had used. I've ordered it. It hasn't arrived yet, but just know that there will be a reprieve coming up for this sort of design, because I definitely want to make her exact bra with the white lace and all the white findings, and then I'll probably go ahead and do the garter belt and underwear as well once that lace comes in. So let's take a look at this pink version though while I'm here. So this one is using the Snow Petals lace that I purchased from Lily Pad Designs. I'm pretty sure this lace is sold out, unfortunately, but definitely go check out her shop because she has lots of really pretty laces in there. And I love that she sells the right and left sides of some of her laces so that you can do a really great mirror image, even if it's a one-sided lace. So for this bra, I started with the Fenway pattern. I started with the Fenway pattern. I think her original bra is a one-piece darted cup. I just don't find those particularly flattering on me. So I decided to start with Fenway because that gave a much more rounder shape and appearance. And really the only big changes were just how I handled the bridge here. This is a bra, again, where I do have a project log video coming up when I make it, and I talk about the changes that I do to the bridge in order to get this keyhole effect. I think the keyhole effect is really cool and effective, and I'm definitely going to use it some more in my bras in the future. I also shot like a fitting video as well for the Fenway. This is one, again, where I had to make a lot of changes to get it to fit me perfectly, and so I thought it would be interesting to see all of those changes that I've made to the Fenway pattern in order to get my perfect fit. I know that these might not be the same changes that you need to make, but it gives you an idea of how I go about making alterations. And that fitting video for the Fenway will probably come out in January. I haven't edited it yet, so it's probably going to come out in January because Christmas time is for eating cookies as far as I'm concerned. So for this bra, I've used the Snow Petals lace from Lily Pad Designs. The bra tool is Pink Lemonade, and that came from the TaylorMade shop. And then all of the findings are Antique Rose from Bra Builders. And even though I got all these different things from different shops around the country, I think that I did a very good job of matching it. They all look like they belong together, so that's good. So that's the exterior of the bra. So I did lace in the bottom cups and then just like this light little lace overlay on the top of the cup that allowed me to have that sort of like peekaboo effect that the Inspiration bra had. On the interior, I think I just used some like sheer cup lining on the sides. Obviously there's nothing in the bridge here. This is all open, and some power net in the back. Trying this on, I think this fits really, really well. I just think that my back band is a little bit too long, so I need to shorten that down. And that's something that I can do to this bra, even though that it's made up. I will have to unpick my hooks and eyes, and I'll unpick my straps here, and then I will cut the back band a little bit shorter and then put those things back onto the bra. So making your band shorter after the bra is done is a really easy technique. Making the bra longer after it's already sewed is a different beast altogether. So I always err on the side of making my bands too long because I can always trim them down after the fact. So that's the only thing I want to change to this, is I just want to make it a little bit, the band a little bit smaller and tighter. But other than that, I am quite happy with how this turned out. I just don't think it satisfied my craving for the Lily of the Valley bra that I was looking for. So the next bra that I wanted to recreate from Emerald Erin was her Midnight and Latte set. And this is another one where as soon as I saw it, I knew I wanted it. It's been sitting in my saved posts on Instagram for a really long time, just waiting for me to have the technique and ability to be able to recreate something like this. So let's take a look at my version of the Midnight and Latte bra. So for mine, I have used the Midnight Bra tool that came from Emerald Erin herself, as well as the Latte findings from Emerald Erin. Obviously, she sells these, so it was really easy to get an exact color match for her original bra. This one is utilizing a 5-piece cup design that I had to sort of figure out using a pattern that I already owned. So you have the seamed in power bar at the side, as well as a 3-piece lower cup and then one overarching upper cup on here. I did make a version of this a couple months ago in Crimson Bra Tool, just testing it out. And the only difference I made between this version and the Crimson one is I did drop that horizontal seam a little bit lower onto the bust so that it crosses my apex. The Black Beauty bra pattern as is does not cross my apex. The cross cut seam is much higher than my apex. So that's something that I needed to bring down a little bit, because I think specifically in the sheer bra, it was super noticeable where my anatomy was and where that cross cut seam was. So that's one thing I did change between my tester version and this one. Working with bra tool, especially one like this, which is really high contrast, it is troublesome to me because I don't have very clean seam allowances. So I tried really hard to get nice even seam allowances, trimming things up so that it looked nice from the outside of the bra. I don't know if I was entirely successful with that, but you know, we're learning and nobody's gonna see it but me. When making this bra, I think she originally used Latte straps as well, and I had put a Latte strap on here, but I wore it for a day and I decided that I didn't like how the Latte looked, so I went ahead and dyed some straps, and this is the dark navy colorway from Dharma Trading Company. So I dyed them in the dark navy to put on instead, and I thought it looked a lot better to me. So that was one sort of like stylistic change. The other thing is in her original design, I believe she uses pico elastic to cover the upper cup here, and I just went for fold over because I think it's a lot easier for me. And I don't particularly like pico elastic crossing that upper cup seam. So obviously, since this is a sheer bra, you can already see the inside from the outside. I've used 2 layers of bra tool in opposing layers or opposing directions of stretch. So one of them has a stretch going this way and one of them has a stretch going this way, running perpendicular to each other. That way you get a nice, really supportive from the bra tool, but it still has a little bit of give because it's knit fabric, so you get a nice round appearance on it. Bra tool does have a right and wrong side, and it's something that I don't think people really recognize. The easiest way to tell is I will rub it against my skin right here, and generally I can tell which side is a little bit rougher, and I always try to have the rough side like inside the bra. So the 2 layers, I put the smooth side facing towards my skin and towards the world, and I find that is the best way. So I have read a couple people say that they find bra tool itchy, and it may just be that you are not facing it the correct direction. But I also did a pair of underwear trying to go along with Emerald Erin's design. So in her inspiration kit, she had, or in her inspiration bra, she had done a pair of underwear with this like sheer bra tool panel in here. So I tried to copy it using her Midnight Bamboo viscose jersey. If I had to do it over again, I would move these a little bit closer to center and sort of more diamond shape like this. As it sits now, they are sort of like far to the side, but it definitely still looks like her inspiration. The only thing I'm missing, obviously, is just a nice little latte bow going right here in the center front. But I like these a lot. I think they're really, really comfortable to wear. So I'm glad that I did the matching underwear to go with this set. And then the last bra that I had was another one inspired by Emerald Erin. She made this one a couple of years ago, and it came along with a blog post about body positivity. And I don't know if it was the blog post or the bra itself, but it's always sort of like stuck in my mind as something that I wanted to try to recreate. I think I've done a good job this time, so let me know what you guys think. So for this bra, I used the same pattern that I had developed for the Latte and Midnight set. It is that 5-piece cup with the 3 lower cup pieces and then the seamed in power bar. I've used Ivory bra tool that I purchased from the Tailor Made shop, and then this lace is one that I had to do some digging, and I eventually found it on AliExpress, and I thought it definitely gave me the same impression as the original lace used in Emerald Erin's bra. All of the findings on this are Ivory as well, and they came from Beware out of Sweden. These are Bra Maker Supply elastics and stuff like that, and I always prefer to purchase mine from Beware than from Bra Maker Supply, just because I find Bra Maker Supply shipping is a little bit pricey for me, so I only ever order there unless I have a large order, because the shipping is free over like 150 US. So double layers of bra tools in the lower cup, side cup, frame, and bridge, and then I just have done 1 layer of bra tool with the lace on the upper cup here. Pay attention in my project log video coming up in December, because I talk a little bit about backing this one, trying to get like the best look for what I was going for. So this one is quite a favorite. I think it might be my favorite one I've made this month. It's just so delicate and pretty and lovely, and still has all of that strength and stability that I'm looking for in my bras, but I just think it's perfect. It is the perfect, like, feminine, delicate little bra, and I can see myself wearing this an awful lot. I love the ivory color a lot more than I think I would like a pristine white, because to me it feels softer, it feels a little bit more lived in and wearable. So yeah, really enjoyed this bra as well, and I will probably, I think I have some Ivory micro mesh in my stash somewhere, so I might go ahead and make a matching set for this down the road. But for right now, I'm really happy with it as just the Ivory bra. So I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that I've made in the month of November, and I will see everyone next time. Take care.